Hello, my name is Richard DeCampa, and this is my honors thesis proposal, The Social Correlates of War. My mentor for this project is Dr. Nicolas Nicoletti. There have been many theories on why wars start throughout history. These range from Karl von Clausewitz's teleology on war to James Fearon's analytical work discussed in Rationalist Explanations for War. This project will be using a statistical analysis to analyze social factors as possible correlates to war initiation. While there has been some research done along these lines, few have been used social factors such as mine in a logistic regression. There is quite a history of statistical analysis of the correlates of war. It started after World War I and has since become a common practice. This history of previous research has provided me with a rich source of data. I will be using three categories of social phenomena for this project. I will be using xenophobia, individuality, and religiosity. All this leads us to the research question for my project. Do social values such as xenophobia, individuality, and religiosity influence whether conflicts between nation-states turn into war? I will be testing my research question within the context of the general theory that statistical analysis of these social factors will give a better insight into war initiation. This insight can perhaps be used predictively and therefore potentially be used to reduce the chances of war. I theorize that nations with high amounts of xenophobia and religiosity are more likely to get involved in wars. I also theorize that nations that hold individuality to be a virtue will be less likely to be involved in war. In my theoretical framework, nations with high xenophobia or high religiosity will be more intolerant of other nations that do not share their values. Also, according to my theoretical framework, nations that value individuality will lack cohesiveness and parts of the population will resist war, making war less likely. In order to collect data for this project, I will be using many pre-existing databases. The main datasets I will be using are from the Correlates of War and Militarized Interstate Dispute datasets, along with the Paldy data series and the World Values series. Using the Militarized Interstate Disputes and the Correlates of War as the source for data on conflicts and wars, these conflicts will be compared to proxy indicators of the social values and whether these conflicts turned into wars. There are 5,512 conflicts in the MIDS dataset, and there are 1,038 wars in the Correlates of War data that will be analyzed dyadically. Other variables that are known correlates of war will be analyzed along with the social proxy variables for comparison and control. All variables will be enumerated either as dummy variables or ordinal numeric variables if they cannot be used as is. I will be using a binomial logistic regression model through the SPSS software for this analysis. Here's the proposed timeline for my project. Notice that I plan on working over the Christmas break.